Hello everybody. Today's key moves, we're looking at pinning the beetle. This is the basic core exercise. We're working with the centre body, the lower pole of the thorax, and we're trying to activate or exploring with the ability to generate intra-abdominal pressure and to coordinate this with breathing. Now, a lot of your clients have very disturbed stereotypical breathing patterns, and associated with that is an ability to effectively activate their core. So these go together, so we have to look at them together, but what seems to be a ridiculously simple act is quite difficult for your clients. They're stiff and they're very unaware of the inner sensation, interoception in their body. So to start with, I'm going to have you have good support under the head. Be prepared to build the head up quite high, because you can see if people are really stiff in their chest, as we start to activate the centre, we need to support the head and neck. The problem with the centre is that people hold too much tension, either too much abdominal tension or they lock in the lower back ribs. Both affect where the thorax sits in space over the pelvis and disturbs the ability to generate this internal control. So the exercise, quite simply, is lying on your back with the head well supported, legs soft, the ability to inhale without lifting, and on the exhale, just dropping the ribs back in contact with the floor without any push with the legs. And then to simply stay in that posture, monitoring, my lower hand is actually feeling my core is on, the abdominals have to work to do this, and my top hand is monitoring no lift of the chest. Being able to hold these ribs in this position helps to stop people upper chest breathing, and a lot of your patients will find this deceptively simple activity of bringing the ribs down and continuing to breathe really difficult. So essentially that's the pinning the beetle. It's as though I've got a beetle under my lower back ribs and I'm bringing them back to pin the beetle to the floor, and I'm keeping them there while I breathe slowly through the diaphragm, feeling the breath come down. A good trick is to bring the tongue onto the roof of the mouth, which helps this connection between the diaphragm, getting a nice descent. Now, your clients will often find this ridiculously difficult, so we have to help them. So the first thing is I've got some soft balls here. If I just place them, you can do the same with a pair of socks, women's socks, and they're just under the lower back ribs, slightly to the side. And so on the exhale, it's like you're saying to the client, just drop your ribs back down onto the ball. Now I want you to note that I'm not pushing with my feet. A lot of your clients find it quite difficult to bring the ribs back without clutching the buttocks and tucking the tail. So again, just trying to sink down onto the ball and to maintain that gentle pressure as the breath comes and goes, with no loss of pressure on the inhale, which a lot of your clients will try and do, just dropping down. Now you can see that I've got a chair here. So if someone's finding it really difficult, bring the legs up on a chair can help this idea of the legs softening and dropping down. Again, be prepared to build the neck up even higher. If someone's very stiff in the top chest, as you bring the ribs back, it'll tend to bring the shoulders forward. So our first action is to pin the beetle, to drop onto your ball, your socks, whatever you've got the analogy for, and feel how your core is on here. This is the deep abdominal muscle working with your pelvic floor and your diaphragm, which is a very important ability to coordinate the three to develop intra-abdominal pressure, but also to breathe. The breath goes down and back. Top chest is soft, and you're letting the whole body sink, just sensing breath coming down, ribs back. And when you've got that, now we're going to explore working with the centre here, this lower pole of the thorax, and now breathe through the breath, sinking down onto the front of the spine, but can you gently come forward without losing the pressure here? Some of you find it easy to come forward, but you can't come back. Some of them you can come back easily, but you can't come forward. So can you just quietly picture where my hands are, sinking back onto your ball, but also floating forward. And we're opening this lower pole of the thorax. Again, I'm feeling my core is on here. And each time I breathe in, I'm just sensing that I can open it. And now we're going to also explore widening here. So if you want to use your fingers here, keep the shoulders soft. Just could you open wider? And what you'll feel is that as you can get this three-dimensional opening, as I say, some of you will have to work with ribs back more. Some of you won't need the balls, but you'll need to let the tummy muscles go to come forward. Inside, opening the space, and then widening. Very often getting the widening will help you to balance up. Notice my legs remain completely relaxed. And I'm just going to play with trying to stay with that opening, feeling the inside, the lower dimension of my rib cages opening out. Think about a round ball. Still feeling how I'm on, giving myself feedback. This shouldn't be a problem if you're getting this action here. Watching that you don't lose the sink back into the floor on the inhale. Watching that you don't shorten the exhale. And then a progression for your clients would be to bring the feet up here. Still just feeling the outer body relax. The whole of your brain and awareness is in opening the centre. And noticing where you need to put the awareness to get this. Think about creating a round ball inside. Ribs, spine back, front ribs forward, going wider. And you're wanting the client to really be able to sense being able to control this but being able to relax. And a good thing to think about is your client being able to sustain that and almost go to sleep. So we're looking to activate the internal myofascial system to generate this breathing coordinated with intra-abdominal pressure, to be able to control where the rib cage sits, but not using tension in the legs, in the buttocks, etc. So this is a very basic position on which we can then start to develop more challenge. But unless the client can sort out this basic action of where the breath goes, how it goes, and the ability to create space for the breath, which is what we're doing really as we work the centre. And this is what the axial fundamental pattern is, that we have to be able to get it in neutral before we can expect people to control it through movement. So it's a basic competency, and don't be prepared to play around here, that you might have to do all sorts of things. Some of your clients will really struggle, particularly those that have a lot of tightness over the lower back ribs, who have been used to using an upper chest breathing pattern. It becomes very threatening them to breathe out where the abdominals have to be activated. On the other hand, you get some people whose abdominals are so active that the diaphragm finds it difficult to descend and to expand and open and widen the back ribs. So that's why we're working for this dimension in 3 dimensions. It's as though the lower pole of the thorax goes round instead of being compressed or narrowed. Okay, we're just opening out and finding the space where the breath is free to come and go. You don't have to make it come. It's like it's a cave inside the body where the air is free to gently come in and let go. Good luck with it all.